Long ago, in the heart of ancient Persia, there was a quiet little village called Khorasan. The air smelled of spices and fresh bread. Merchants called out in the bazaar, and among them lived a poor woodcutter, a kind and humble man named Ali Baba. Every day, Ali Baba would venture deep into the forest, cutting firewood beneath the burning sun. He had little, but his heart was content. His brother Qasim, however, lived in wealth and pride, married to a rich merchant's daughter and surrounded by servants. He would often mock his brother's simplicity.
Ali, you'll die in those woods with your axe in hand while I dine with kings.
Ali Baba, better to live humbly, brother, than let greed eat your soul.
One scorching afternoon, while Ali Baba worked deep in the forest, he heard the distant thunder of galloping horses. Startled, he hid, climbing quickly into a tall fig tree. From the branches, he saw a cloud of dust, and 40 fierce riders, cloaked in black, their faces hidden, their swords glinting under the sun. They stopped before a massive rock cliff. Their leader, a tall man with a scar across his cheek, raised his hand and shouted, "Open Sesame!" To Ali Baba's astonishment, the rock split open. Inside, a golden light poured out like the sun itself. The thieves rode into the cave, their bags heavy with stolen treasure. A few moments later, they came back out, their sacks now empty. The leader turned once more and said, "Close, Sesame," and the rock sealed shut as if it had never moved. Ali Baba waited until they disappeared into the horizon. Then, heart-pounding, he whispered the words himself, "Open Sesame." The rock opened. Inside, Ali Baba found mountains of gold coins, silk carpets, and chests overflowing with jewels. The light of treasure danced across the walls. He stood there in awe. So this is where they hide their stolen riches. He filled his donkey baskets with gold, covered them carefully with firewood, and left quietly. When he reached home, his wife Zubaida ran out in shock.
Ali, what is all this?
A secret, my love, one that must stay between us.
But secrets have a way of finding ears. Zubaida, curious to know how much gold they had, went to borrow a measuring jar from Qasim's wife. Unknowingly, Qasim's wife had smeared wax at the bottom of the jar. When the jar returned, a gold coin was stuck beneath it. Her eyes widened. That night, Qasim stormed into Ali Baba's house.
Where did you get this gold, brother? Tell me now, or I'll tell everyone.
Ali Baba sighed and told him everything. The cave, the words, and the treasure. Qasim's eyes gleamed with greed. "Open Sesame. Close Sesame," he repeated, memorizing every word. The next morning, he loaded 10 donkeys with empty sacks and set off before sunrise. He found the cliff, said the magic words, and entered. He laughed greedily, filling bag after bag until his arms trembled. But when he was ready to leave, he forgot the words. "Open wheat. Open barley. Open corn." Nothing happened. He was trapped. Hours later, the 40 thieves returned. Their leader roared, "How dare you enter my cave?" Qasim begged for mercy, but thieves have none. They killed him and left his body as a warning. When Qasim didn't return, Ali Baba went in search of him and found his brother lifeless in the cave. He wept bitterly, whispering,
May Allah forgive him. Greed took his soul.
With the help of his loyal servant Morgiana, a wise and courageous young woman, he brought Qasim's body home. She arranged everything quietly, making sure no one would learn the truth. But soon, the thieves discovered the body missing. Their leader shouted, "Someone else knows our secret. We must find him." They disguised themselves as merchants and came into the city. One thief found the tailor who had helped with Qasim's burial, and by following him, they discovered Ali Baba's house. The leader marked the door with chalk so they could return at night. But Morgiana noticed the mark. Clever as ever, she painted the same mark on every house in the street. When night fell, the thieves came, but they were lost. They couldn't tell which house was the real one. Their leader was furious. "This man has a clever guardian," he growled. A few days later, the leader returned again, disguised as a merchant. Behind him were 40 great jars loaded on camels. He smiled politely at Ali Baba. "Good sir, may I rest in your courtyard tonight? My men and I have traveled far." Ali Baba: "Of course, traveler. You are most welcome." But only one jar contained oil. The rest hid thieves. That night, Morgiana went to the courtyard to fetch oil for cooking. As she approached the jars, she heard a whisper. "Is it time, master?" Morgiana froze. Then she realized the truth. Without a sound, she boiled oil in a large cauldron. And one by one, poured it into each jar. The whispers turned to silence. The leader had gone to rest, waiting for the moment to attack. But when he came out at dawn, he tried to talk with his men. "Are you guys ready to attack?" But no one replied. He removed the lid of the jar and saw his men dead. He fled into the night and never returned. Ali Baba placed his hand on her shoulder.
Morgiana, your courage and loyalty are worth more than gold. From this day, you are no longer a servant. You are my daughter.
Ali Baba alone knew the secret of the cave, but he never returned out of greed. Instead, he used his wealth to help the poor, feed orphans, and bring peace to his village. He lived long, loved, and respected, not for his riches, but for his wisdom and kindness.